Our second discussion is on IPL TV rights and digital rights, record price at which they've been sold. Let me quickly introduce our guests who may help us in decoding what this IPL big buck theory actually means. Harish Thawani, former BCCI home internationals and IPL overseas broadcaster. We also have Amrit Mathur, advisor, Dream 11 and cricket administrator and columnist, ex-general manager of BCCI. Thank you very much to the two of you. Mr. Thawani, can you explain to us and decode what this means in a time when we are in a pandemic, digital rights, TV rights, record heights, almost next to the NFL at 130 crore rupees per match. IPL, each game is going to be around 107.5 crore rupees. Each match. What does this mean, Mr. Thawani?
Would you like me to give you a commercial analysis or a jingoistic analysis?
I guess we have very limited time for a very detailed commercial analysis. I know you're full of it. You're full of information, but for the lay viewer, how does one perceive this?
Okay, so for the lay viewer, the way I see it is, and right now the auction is not over, so we will have to rely upon informed sources that tell us that Star is the successful bidder for the TV rights, and Viacom TV 18/Jio is the successful bidder for the package B of the digital rights. Assuming that information that we are told is correct, I think Star has done a smart thing. They have the incumbent advantage. They've been in the seat for the last 5 years. They understand the revenues. And on the TV side, I think while there's no money to be made at their bid price of, let me just refresh my memory, approximately 23,575 crores over the 5 years, there's probably not much in the P&L for that. But I suspect it's a break-even. Quick maths on that tells you they should be able to make 34 crores a match average over the 5 years on ad revenue, which leaves a gap of 1,900 crores for subscription revenue per annum. Two experts I spoke with in the subscription industry, cable and satellite TV respectively, felt that it's achievable. It's a stretch, but it's achievable. So I think they've used their incumbent advantage to get the figure right. It's interesting that while they had the right to continue bidding to challenge the digital winner, and they put up a small challenge this morning for 2 rounds, they then abandoned it and let the digital go to somebody else. I think the digital player in this case has seen something strategic which I can't see. Tactically, from a P&L point of view, it's a no-brainer. It's going to lose money. The maths on that is simple. Digital should get you an average of 17 crores a match of revenues over the next 5 years, which leaves a subscription gap of 2,700 crores per annum. And I just can't see how that is achievable. So there's a strategic play out here, whether it's to do with the Jio forthcoming IPO rumored to come in the next 1 year, or a deeper data set, gathering.
But Mr. Mathur, just want to understand, you see, from the time when people were glued on to the television as the primary source to consume a cricket match, an IPL match, you see people, whether it's a taxi driver or someone going back home in a Delhi metro or any other mode of transport, picking up the phone and watching this match on the app. So does that not explain where the greater potential lies, and does also explain the 20,500 crore rupees for the digital rights? I mean, do you see this space growing more and more than television?
Sanket, you are right. But just to look at the larger picture, this is the Chappar Phadke moment for cricket and cricket revenue. Expected number being 50,000 crores over 5 years. So it shows the power of cricket. It's a tribute to the fans, to the numbers who support the game, and the revenue it can generate. Also, it's a vindication and validation of the fantastic product that the IPL is. Look at it this way. It's a 40-over game, 3.5 hours, and it can generate 120 crores of revenue every time there's a match. Thirdly, as you mentioned correctly, it shows how the digital space has, become important. And that's been the trend last 5 years. And the trajectory going forward could be much, much more, higher. But there are 2-3 additional points in this. The board is raising, say, 50,000 crores from the sale of media rights, which means that it is split equally between the BCCI and the IPL teams. 25,000 crores to the board, which they will use for development, player welfare, infrastructure, whatever. And already there's an announcement today from the BCCI that the pension of 900 players, officials, etc., is being almost doubled. So the way the money is going to go, where I think it's already clear that everybody is going to gain because of this huge, increase in revenue. The interesting part is the other 25,000 crores over 5 years goes to IPL teams. Now that's profit, and it's money which is perhaps going out of the system into private hands as profit, which is fine because there were these brilliant people who invested in a property 15 years ago, and now they're in a situation where their annual profit is more than the price they paid for the asset. So in a way, it's fantastic business. The people laughing most are the IPL owners who are guaranteed phenomenal profits going forward. And I think they're the ones who are happiest.
No, I want to know and understand whatever happened to this great buzz about who watches IPL anymore. Do you remember this conversation had started happening, I think, last year, that who's really interested in these IPL matches anymore? Yes, there is buzz around them, but not the same way it used to be back in the day. I mean, does that, this rights and the amount being mentioned here nips that entire conversation in the bud?
I think it does. IPL is a very strong property. It's a terrific cricket tournament. And all these numbers are vindication of all that. It's endorsement. It is a huge vote of support for the IPL. And the IPL, each team spends 90 crores in assembling a squad.
Correct.
Whereas the other competitors of the IPL, actually not really competitors, whether it's 100 or it's the Big Bash or it's the CPL, the amount they spend on players is about 10 to 12 crores. Exactly. So that is a gap. In the IPL,
David... Mr. Thawani, I just wanted to ask you, you compared this to the government's Jal Jeevan mission. Half of Manrega budget is this amount that we are talking about. I mean, many of the government schemes are not as expensive as this deal. Do you think that there is, I'm sure somebody must have done the math, enough ROI, as they say in your profession?
I think I said at the outset, I think the TV bid is probably a break-even number, so there is potentially not much ROI. I'm not sure about the digital numbers providing an ROI, and I'll stick my neck out. I think it's a loss-making proposition for the digital bidder at these prices, and it's got nothing to do with whether digital will grow faster than TV or TV will continue to dominate. I'm not making a forecast on that. I'm looking at today. The value of digital is approximately 40% of the value of TV on monetizable basis over the last 1 year. We all know the figures in the industry, and that will grow. But is it going to grow to 90% of TV or not? I mean, I don't want to complicate this discussion with the whole wholesale subscription model in the country. There's a legacy model which impacts your ability to grow revenue. It's as simple as we pay maybe 200 rupees a month for a mobile package, voice and data. Tomorrow, if somebody asks you to pay 1,200, you're going to rebel. And most people are going to disconnect their phones and say, I'll just stick to voice or whatever.
Correct.
So you can't jump revenues. You can bid revenues 2x, 3x of, you can buy properties at 3 times the price, but you can't sell the property at 3 times the price.
Interesting assessment. So where does this math end? That's going to be very interesting. Anyway, if Mr. Mathur is to be believed, this is good news at the end of the day.
Yeah,
good news for the game, good news for everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. With that, it's a wrap in this edition of Breaking News.